Hello, how are you doing? Today I have a very quick video about tips for teaching Go to children and maybe to your own children. In the past few years, I had some people asking me this very question, but I never had good answers. So today, when I was talking with my parents, I asked them if they had any advice for these people. And they gave me a few really good tips, so I would like to share them with you today. So, first, let me tell you a little bit about Korea. In Korea, Go is a very popular subject for children to learn, and there are many Go schools like that. Let me show you this ad that I found on the internet. Isn't this really cute? So, this is an ad for children's Go school. The first sentence says, the future is about using your brain. And then the second one says, AlphaGo uses 1200 supercomputer CPUs. Your children can learn to think like that. Yeah, right. I mean, it's so true. It's very good for thinking. And then here it says, Go teaches good posture, good thinking ability, problem solving, and focus. And I think these are all very true. And I do believe in the value of Go, like myself. So, anyway, let me share the tips from my parents. The first one is minimum requirements. How early can you start? And I was kind of expecting to hear like age 3 or age 4 or age 5. I heard in China some kids actually start at age 3. I started at 5. And my father, who has a lot of experience in teaching children, he said that the first basic requirement is the ability to count up to 30. 30. And he said that that's because you really need to understand the concept of liberty and the territory. And the second requirement, which is not as important but also kind of necessary, is the ability to read. But he says you can kind of get started when you can count, but then very soon you also want to be able to read because they will learn a lot more from books. And what do you want to teach first? It's very important not to go theoretical and not to start explaining the whole concept of, philosophical, territory versus influence and all. You really want to teach them how to capture a stone, like how to surround liberties, and like the concept of artery maybe. And then you start to playing. When you let them play, it's very important for you to let them capture your stones because they really enjoy capturing these stones, and that's how they get kind of into the game in the beginning. But of course, you should also capture their stones so that they can learn how they can lose their stones. And it will take some practice of like playing these Atari games before they get really used to this concept. And don't go into like two eyes and the territory concept before they get used to this stage. Only after that you explain to them about two eyes and the territories. Oh, and remember to start in the smaller board. I recommend 9 by 9, but 13 by 13 can also work. 19 by 19 can be overwhelming. And how often do you want to do it? You don't want to do it like once a week. That's not nearly as enough. My father recommends every day actually, but if every day is a little difficult, maybe at least every other day. And apparently, children can't focus very long, so you want to do it somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes at once. So maybe I would say something like 20 minutes every day. You have like two or three quick games. And also, once they get the concept of like capturing, like taking stones off the board, you really want to start giving them these children's go books. I I've checked that there are many English children's go books that have like chumegos and some other like concepts. So you can start kind of giving the books to them. And the ideal environment is that there are many other children to play with. Children can get kind of bored when they only play with adults because they get the impression that it's an adult thing. So it's important for them to have some other children at their age to play with. If that's like too difficult, you could maybe at least show them like some videos or the pictures of other children playing Go. Or maybe like take them to annual children's event. In Korea, there are so many children's Go events, and the largest one has like participants of 100,000 children. But very sadly, we don't have that in the US yet. But I think there are maybe a few children's events like the Children's Go Camp before the US Go Congress. You could like consider those opportunities. And last and maybe the most important one is to keep their motivation level high. My recommendation is that you use all kinds of rewards. Whenever they finish a book, you give them something, and once they start like playing full games, you can play handicap games with them. And whenever they go like fewer handicapped, you could like buy them some like nice gift or take them to a restaurant that they like, something like this. I also remember that like whenever I got promoted from like 15Q to 14Q and like 9Q, or like when I had like from 8 stones to 7 stones against my mother, I would get something like, treat or cookie or something. And then I loved it. And I think it can be very effective. So these are some tips for teaching Go to children. I hope it was useful for you. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my videos. It always helps me to have more subscribers. So that's about it for today, and I should have a next video very soon. Yeah, in a few days. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.